Welcome to the Air-Cooled Connection. I'm your host, Shane. I'm joined with my buddy, John. Today our special guest is Jason Warden, also known as Jbug. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get on with the show.
Good. We're good. All right. Like I said, we're starting. This is... All right, so welcome to the Air-Cooled Connection.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, definitely. So John, you want to...
Scheduling issues we had for a while, but it seemed like we got everything worked out.
Yes.
I guess to start out, what got you into this? I know it's probably the question been asked 1,000 times like everybody has.
Yeah, I mean, mid-90s, I guess my parents had Volkswagens growing up, and then I remember going into, I've always liked cars. I've always been into drawing cars, been into cars. And going into the supermarket the first time, I seen a Hot VW's magazine and flipping through it. And then some cars around town. I mean, it just blew my mind. I had to have one. So that's how I got into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your first one? Did you go straight from the Bugs, or did you start going into vans?
Now, first car my parents got me was a
Dune buggy.
rusted out '69 Beetle. It was like a shell and a motor.
It's a good way to start.
Good way to start. Pretty much they told me, if I learned about it and I built it, I'd respect it and take care of it.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. That is
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
100% the truth.
So I had that car all through high school. And then I got big into just buying them. Buying parts, getting parts. But back in
Flipping or just, okay. Or
collecting
it got
parts.
there yet?
In the 90s it was like,
Yeah.
things were still cheap. So, I mean, people were driving the yards, people were giving it to you.
Yeah.
And my parents were all about it, because I could be doing worse, and they're like, just keep on buying cars and flipping them and collecting parts.
You're not going to jail, you're not
right.
getting in trouble, stuff like that. So then you started with that, and then when you got your first one, did you already know how to do like metal work, or were you learning nothing
I
at
knew
all?
nothing. I had that John Muir
3M foam spray that you
the book, The Idiot's Guide to Volkswagen. I think it's everybody's John Muir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So reading through that book, figured it out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That book is,
It's a holy grail for Volkswagen.
It is.
The thing that is, like, even everything was hand drawn.
Was he the artist of it?
I think so.
I think so.
That was a big part of it for me too. That's
what
what pulled, that whole breakdown of everything laying there.
And it's very user friendly. If you take like a Bentley manual or anything like that,
Right.
you sit back and like, okay, this gets kind of confusing. But that book, he made it very
His lamest terms
Yeah.
kind of
lamest terms.
It's
Very
his
user
words,
friendly.
because I have ADD bad, and there's other manuals. There's no way I could pick up anything off.
You start looking at it, you're just like, I tune out.
That Idiot's manual was so easy to read.
Right.
It worked out, because it was kind of like someone was talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your light's blinking, you just do this, and then if it stops blinking, you fixed it. Congratulations.
So how long did you keep that first one?
That Bug, I kept that first Bug until I got in a bad accident, and probably
In it, you said?
2000, yeah.
Okay.
It wrecked, yeah. So, had it for a while, and it changed colors probably 10 times.
Now, did you do any customizing to it, or were you just like getting it on the road? And
Yeah, well, at first, when through high school, it was just a regular old spray paint. I think I painted with a paintbrush a couple times, but what we could afford. And after that, it definitely lowered it and had an exhaust on it. And
nice.
yeah,
Nice. They accepted into the real Volkswagen
Oh,
world
yeah,
of customizing.
Yeah.
Were you into your art too when you were doing that?
Yes.
I mean, I guess you've been into art.
I was
just like
art my whole life,
skateboarding.
yeah.
So
Yeah, my senior year of high school, I did a visual performing arts course. It was 3 hours a day of art. And I kind of just toned everything in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's just, because I remember, especially social media, you get to see a lot of you put your stuff up, and I said, look at him, he does pinstriping, does art. It's just, and you look at it, and I can't draw to save my life. And, my stick figures out. One leg's longer than the other, one's go. But it's just, it's definitely, that's definitely, I guess, a labor of love.
Right.
You really got to have, especially the pinstriping. My hands, I couldn't do that in my life. So how did you go from, like,
normal art to pinstriping? What started you in that?
So my grandfather had a sign shop. All hand painted stuff, signs. This is probably the 60s and 70s.
That's awesome.
And then I don't know, my first got into mid 2000s. I started seeing Volts rods and rat rods,
Right.
and a buddy of mine.
Fink and all that.
Yeah. Like, I bet you could probably do this. And I remember I got like a can of, it was a pink one-shot paint and a brush a buddy of mine gave me, because that's what nobody wanted that color.
Spray it and you just.
Yeah, no, that's just, you know, and I pulled some lines on my, I think I had a bus at the time, I had a Bug, and I pinstriped them, and went to a couple car shows, and everybody wanted it done, you know, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so that's how I kind of got started in it.
Yeah. And then you refined it over.
Yes, I
Years
think I've been
and years.
pinstriping since probably 2004 or 5, yeah.
Hasn't been
Yeah.
that long.
Yeah.
It's definitely I mean, you look at it, I mean, just to keep everything symmetrical.
Right.
Now,
I think
I
you're
know
doing freehand too.
I've researched it before, and
Right.
so if you're right-handed, you'll do the right side first, so you're not, or no, you do the left first, so you can look at that and balance it
So
out.
you know, rule usually you try to do the side that's going to be more difficult.
Okay.
And I go back and forth line to line.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
you don't
so-
do one side
no,
first and
no,
then
no.
okay.
I do a line on the right and then do a line on the left, and whichever
Oh.
your harder line is, you do first. That way you're no problem on the other side.
Dang. All right, because I was always wondering, you know, reading the
Right.
books and
Right.
watching the videos and stuff.
Everybody's different. Everybody's
Yeah,
their way.
you
Yeah.
develop your own kind
Yeah,
of process
absolutely.
for doing that. Now,
Absolutely.
do you sketch out the stuff? Because
No.
all the ones I've seen you do, it's just like freehand.
Everything's
Insane.
freehand. Yeah, and
Jesus.
I usually start off with the same 3 lines. Usually that's 3 middle lines, and I build off of those. But none of them are ever the same exact.
That's so
To me, it's more difficult to draw it out first than it would be just to
Really?
paint it.
Why
Yeah.
that?
I don't know, it just comes natural. The lines come natural. And I think if I'm following,
too processed.
if I'm following
Yeah.
a line, and I'm trying to overthink it.
No, I
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
wow.
Now, have you ever had to start all over?
Mhm.
Can you do that with
You can.
pinstriping or not?
With a one-shot paint, or I use alpha nano paint now, the oil-based paint. If you can use mineral spirits,
Okay.
and if you're on clear coat, now if you're on just
No
regular
mistakes.
flat paint, right,
Yeah.
there's no making mistakes. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The tension's a
A
little
little
higher.
higher, yeah.
A little
If
higher.
you try to put mineral spirits on a flat black car
Come right
or
off.
no clear, it'll stain it.
Have you got one that you've done in the past that's like just your worst nightmare and you just hated doing it and wishing you
Well,
had, you know what I mean? There's always kind of one that is just like,
I'm always nervous going into some of these high dollar hot rods. I remember one year at Jalopy Rama, I did a 30s car, and it was all white and it had white interior, and they
Oh my
wanted these
God.
blue stripes across the dash.
see, I would have been,
Oh, it made me so nervous laying in this car with paint, knowing that if
Oh,
I
yeah.
drop this,
oh man.
it's going to stain it. But it came through. I mean, it worked out, and
Yeah, just take your time.
just take your time and got through it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I met you first through Volkswagens
Right.
a long while back, and then I saw that you did all the other
Yeah.
art stuff, which
Mhm.
was just, it blew my mind as well.
But
So-
I've definitely gotten over that fear, though. I mean, when I first started working on cars, actually the first motorcycle that I pinstriped was on Discovery Channel, and it was right out the bat. The guy's like, "Oh, you should just do this bike
How did
for
you
me."
get? How did you get set up with that? Did you know it was going to be?
I've
on the
had
show,
some
or is it
really
not?
good friends and,
Okay,
and
connections.
connections, and couple big bike builders. They do a lot of magazines and Easy
Yeah.
Riders and stuff, and that was the first one that I really wasn't comfortable doing it. And he's like, "Man, come on, you got this."
I remember you posted something about that was
Right.
on the.
It was a Cafe Racer TV. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Jesus, that's awesome.
after I did a few of them, I got to get more used to it. Yeah.
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 But so that's another thing I want to talk to you about is motorcycles.
Right.
So what got you into doing? Were you into motorcycles also before
Yeah,
cars?
I like all kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but the motorcycles, I do a lot of pinstriping for these motorcycle builders, and one of them, Carnes Customs, I do a lot of his bikes when he builds them, and he goes to shows, and then I started getting hired to do international motorcycle shows, the pinstripe, and he's like, "You know what, you should just build a bike and bring it with you as like a calling card or
And that's
a
what
display."
you did for yours.
And I'm like, yeah, we got that, we'll do that, so, yeah.
Now, did you extended the axle on it? Did you do all the metal work?
Yeah,
and
like,
everything?
between us and a few of our buddies that work at the shop, we put it all together. I mean, I think we built that bike in 2 or 3 weeks.
Gorgeous bike.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
all
Yeah,
2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Jesus.
it was
That's
quick.
awesome.
It was quick, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how did it start out with? What was it?
It's
What was
a 74 CB550.
Okay, so it was a Honda. We were
It's a
talking about
Honda,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
76 that I've
Yeah.
put the rigid tail on and all that
Well,
stuff.
a lot of these shows, everybody's real everything's Harley, and I was like, I'm gonna build something.
Metric chopper.
Something
Yeah.
different. I want something completely different.
Yeah. Oh, I love that
And
style.
bright. It's you know,
Baby blue.
baby blue, and I wanted it to be bright and stand out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did really well. We actually did the international motorcycle show. It made it all the way to Chicago to the finals.
How'd that feel?
That was
Just like,
great. It
you're
was
just
great.
like, I can't
Yeah.
believe this is
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
Jesus.
For our first bike build, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, are you doing more now? Are you gonna
Well, you know,
hang on to that one or?
well, that one's up actually for sale right now, and then
Okay.
I don't know. I skip back and forth. And I'm back into the VW thing now, working
Yeah.
on my car. So
That's
yeah,
that happens. That's just
Yeah.
natural.
Yep.
So
I think it's like why you get burnt out on one thing.
yes.
And okay, I gotta step back a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yep. And another thing that's cool that right now the Volkswagen scene's big, and I kind of stepped back from the pinstriping a little bit, but now it's getting colder. I'm getting right back into it again. Yeah.
yeah, well, especially with all the crap going on
Yeah.
too. That's I know that's slowed us down for the stuff we're wanting to do.
Right.
Plus, when you know the power transferred over in our
Right.
club, we had such a huge thing, you know, and we needed to kind of breathe new life into it. So we stepped back from that and just kind of let it
Yeah.
die off, and we're gonna next season we're gonna start
Hit hard again,
really
yeah.
big, yeah. So and hopefully they'll have some stuff taken care of, so we don't have to
Right.
worry as much. But so getting back to Volkswagens, you've got your house is incredible. We'll throw up some photos as we're talking. I've always wanted to do everything that's in your house, all the skate decks and all
Yeah,
that
I'm-
stuff.
I collect.
That's an art house.
I'm a little bit. I got my hands into everything.
Yeah.
Like so, our house is the living room, kitchen is mostly 80s skateboards
Yeah, that's
and 80s toys. I mean, we collect a little bit of everything, and then
it's like my attic, but I
Yeah.
don't have it on display. That's the only problem. So
yeah, and then Volkswagen toys. I got a whole building out back.
oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
it's bloated. Yeah, yeah.
It's bloated.
It's
that what you
bloated
said?
full of them.
Oh, it's like squeezing out the edges.
Yeah, there's not even any. Yeah.
Rivers are popping.
One more Hot Wheels just jammed
Yeah.
in and you're
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, so the other thing is when did you do the bus TV on the wall thing? Did you
it's-
cut that or was
Yeah,
that
I did.
like-
Actually, there was a guy brought the bus over. He was headed to the scrapyard. That's probably been
That's a long time.
15, 20 years ago. He's like, taking it to the scrapyard. Do you want anything off of it? And I'm like, well, just leave it here and let me think about it.
I want
Leave the whole bus
The
here.
whole thing here.
And I was like, I'll take the pieces off. And I don't know. I just got this idea to cut the whole rear off.
It's
And,
perfect. It's
yeah.
perfect size.
It
and
is
you-
perfect size. And,
Yeah.
and we used to have the hatch on it, but the problem was walking by it and hitting your head on the hatch.
Oh, so you took that off. I
So,
thought
yeah.
I saw pictures.
It used
with
to.
Okay.
Yeah. I had it for years with the hatch on it, but
How many stitches between the
oh,
whole
that-
family?
as the kids got taller and knocking into it, you're like, you know what? We should probably take that off. It's much better now. Yeah.
That's so cool. Now, do you have any other bodies of Volkswagens in your house, or
No, not at the moment. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna build some shelves out of deck lids though. I think that'd be kind of neat.
that'd be cool? Have
Yeah.
you seen the chairs out
The
of
chairs,
the?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I got a hood or yeah.
the hood. That's what I was thinking.
I remember as a kid, we used to. My father had a couple growing up. I remember we had a big hill by our house down at the park, and they would take a deck lid, unscrew the handle, put the handle on the other side. It was a sled.
The sled,
It
yeah.
was a sled.
I've heard people using that for
Yeah.
like hoods and stuff for that too.
I would
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
some people going down
Oh,
because I
somebody-
usually aim
yeah,
for
you
people
go down
when I'm
there.
going down the hill.
I remember Dad,
The metal.
he had one. He took it. He switched the hood around, the handle around.
If we get snow
And
this
like
year,
that,
let's do that. I want to do
And
that.
I mean, it wasn't the most comfortable ride, you know. I mean, you're feeling it.
You're not controlling it. Yeah, it's going.
You have no control. You're
No
just
brake,
rolling.
no steering, nothing.
Oh my gosh. That's,
that's
Yeah.
But okay, so the house is an art house. I mean, you guys just surround yourself. Your family's
Yeah.
here today.
Yeah.
Are they into art? Are
Oh,
they
everybody,
artists?
yes, absolutely.
Everybody.
Amy's got the bus and all my kids got Volkswagens. Keegan's working on one right now. So
What's he got?
it was a '74 standard wheel.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. What's he gonna do to it? I
Yeah.
should have you come over and talk about
Customize it, yeah. Right now he's got an 1835. He's building 4.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Is it ready for it?
it's a family deal. Everybody's in the.
That's how it has to be.
Right.
You know, it's like a family,
Yeah.
a whole family situation.
That's what I think about it. Like I will say, like you look at like different car cultures. Like say like the Chevy guys or Ford guys, you know, they have one.
Jeeps.
They have one. I don't know what it is with Volkswagen.
Volkswagens don't work that way.
Like you've got multiple.
Yeah.
Steph and I got what, 5?
Yeah.
You've got
4.
I got 9 in my yard right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're not happy with one.
No.
You're like,
It
no,
doesn't matter.
I just don't need one
Apartment,
project. I just don't need one project. I need 5.
I think you're right. That's a Volkswagen thing.
Man, and
I think since mid '90s to now, I've probably had well over like 200. Like that used to be the weekend deal. Was
God.
go
Yeah,
out
but
on
you
weekends.
also flipped them and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So
That's how I
was your
learned. I'd buy them, and back then they were cheap though. You know,
Right.
you drive around on a weekend and pick 2 or 3 of them up for $50 to $300, and
Right.
And
come
there
home
was
and
yeah.
you sell them for $1,500 to $2,000 back then. But it was a good hustle,
Right.
and you're learning at the same time and
Yeah.
gathering parts. And
But you also have a passion for it too. So
Yeah.
if you didn't have the passion, it'd be a little harder
Right.
to keep
yes,
pushing at it. But yeah, it's I'll drive by, or I'm constantly. I don't need another car. I've
No.
got motorcycles, cars,
Right.
and your everyday driver.
Right.
But I always look on the Samba. I'm always looking
Oh,
on,
yeah.
you know.
Craigslist.
marketplace
Marketplace.
is a big thing now.
And if I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
something, I don't care if I have room.
Right,
I will
I'll find a place for it.
Yeah, I'll park it next to a boat or something.
And it is because you and most of it's not like you're looking, but you're not looking. You're
Right.
just,
Yeah, but if you see it, you
Thumbing
can't
through.
pass it
You
up.
can't pass it up.
It's just like
you're-
you go ahead.
Probably a month ago, right, coming home from work, I was going through Marketplace, and there was a wrecked dune buggy body. And I'm
See, I'm like, oh,
yeah, I'm like,
did you get it? Yeah.
And it said free, come pick it up. And I'm like, I wrote a person, I'm like, where are you at? And they were like, they come in 2 miles from my house. And I'm like, I'll be right there. And they even knew who I was. Like, oh, you're the guy with the Volkswagens on West
You're
Road.
that guy.
You're that guy. They're like, yeah, we'll save it for you.
yeah, that's right.
But I put it at the house. I really didn't have room for it. But I don't know. 3 weeks later, somebody was looking for one to
Was it a fiberglass like?
fiberglass.
Okay.
Yep. But
Mix, I think it was
Yeah.
what was the original one? Mix,
Mannix,
Mannix.
Mannix, yeah. So it wasn't a Mannix, but it was another brand. But somebody needed it a few weeks later, and I'm like, yeah,
Jeez.
I'm,
That's the cool part about it, though. Also, everybody, anywhere you go, if you're in a Volkswagen, everybody's got a Volkswagen story, no matter what.
Right.
So
And Volkswagen people are good like that. I mean, usually people got parts sitting around, and they'll help you out, and
true. Yeah.
that's the big thing. Yeah.
Same thing happened to me. About 3 months ago, I was going through Marketplace, and a guy up in Bel Air,
Oh, for the bus parts.
for the 36 horsepower motor.
Oh yeah.
Complete 36 horsepower motor
Right.
for the oval.
Yeah.
It was a 57. Mine, it's 56 a year old. Free. Come get it.
Right.
I called a guy at like 10 o'clock at
Yeah.
night. I'm
I'll
driving.
be right there.
I'm up there,
Yeah,
and
you
it
don't
was
pass
all-
that up.
Don't pass it
It's
up.
complete.
No.
I mean, everything complete. I said, I'm sure you want anything for it. He said, nope, don't
No.
want for it. I just want it out of here.
And I got a lot of people do that. They'll call me, and I got stuff in the garage, and if we know you'll do something good with it, or give it to somebody that needs it,
Yeah.
just come get it. So.
I think
that
all of us
doesn't
need to
happen.
like rent like a big warehouse somewhere.
Yeah.
Just have a collective.
We would fill it up in probably a
Yeah.
week.
Like a collective, like
That's how it was, in the early
Yeah.
2000s. People would call me and like just bring a truck or just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
And I had so much stuff in the garage at the time I couldn't fit cars in there. But I was getting it, and people needed stuff.
Were
and,
you
it's
were you
here.
organizing it though? Like when you get it, because I know like, Rick. He's got a ton of stuff too.
Right.
And
It's all
he'll be there to help you exactly like what we're
Right.
talking about. But he's got so much stuff. He started just piling, and that's when
Yeah.
it starts
It's getting
rusting.
Yeah.
See, and mine got that way because I'm not the most organized person. And,
Yeah.
And,
None of us are.
and by now it's all gone. But now I look back and like, oh, I wish I kept that because
Yeah.
we're running out of sources.
Yeah, it's
It's starting to slow down, and you're seeing the prices go up.
Prices go
Unfortunately,
up, yeah.
because I'm like looking for. I've got my 1.9 for my van again,
Right.
and I'm talking to a guy in Connecticut. He's got 2 motors,
Right.
and I'm waiting for him to get back to me on the price for it. And I was like, it's 5 hours. I'll go up there and pick up both of them
Right.
because I'd like to rebuild one and just have it like
Have it.
perfect.
Right.
So drive the hell out of that one, and then once it's done, just swap it
Right.
and start building the other one. And then I've got an extra one for parts.
For parts,
But
yeah.
I'm trying with the van again. I'm trying to limit myself because bugs and my buses and stuff. I would just
Yeah.
pull everything in,
Yeah.
and then I'd end up with too much stuff that I
Mhm.
didn't need, so I give it away to people.
it used to be a lot easier.
It used to be
Yeah.
like this. It did.
Because people just had them sitting in their yards.
Yeah.
And, like a perfect example, Dick down in
Oh yeah.
Auto House, yeah.
Yep.
Dick's Auto House. I remember when younger going over there, that whole back field
Full.
was lined up,
Totally
and he
full.
had vans and buses.
Yeah.
Like the one van had nothing but washer bottles in it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was
I
filled.
remember there being a right-hand drive
Yeah.
bus back there, like
It
a
was-
bus.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the green one. And nobody thought of it at the time, like that needed to be
Right.
saved.
Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a body back here,
And
yeah.
I asked him one time, I said, what happened to all this stuff? He said the county started getting on his ass about it.
Yeah,
And they were fining him
right.
for it. So he said everything get crushed. I mean, and
But he's out of he's not in a
No.
community. He's out in a
well, that's the same
field.
thing. What about
Why would you screw with somebody like that when he's on his own, helping people? I mean, the guy's nice as hell.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
And I mean, when did it start back? Back in the '60s with Lady Bird Johnson. She said junkyards are the eyesore of the American landscape, and that's when they started all those restrictions on junkyards, and,
Right.
and they just started. And it's just, but
Yeah,
now,
we've got a couple, because we're from the Eastern Shore. That area is a lot of farmland, and there used to be a lot of junkyard stuff, and my spots are all
They
gone.
dry up.
all dried up.
Gone. Yeah, people they
Now,
start
do
getting
they
crushed, and
Yeah. Do they start not allowing you to go pick the parts? Because I know that they've started doing that like all over, and that's the best
And
part.
I think the VW scene slowed down a little bit, and they weren't as popular. People buying new cars. It's not, the scene was different in the '90s. Everybody was driving still, and now it's more of a collector's. Everybody's driving shows.
Passion.
It's
Right.
passion.
Yeah. That's
But it's resurgent now. But back then, it kind of got slow. And I think people start crushing them, and
yeah. Well, somebody bought all of them up at Crazy Ray's.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there used to always be like maybe 4 or 5 of
there's
them.
always something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beat the shit, but I mean, you could
Good
still
for parts. Good for
get
parts.
parts metal.
I used to
yeah.
go up there all the time with my father. We go there for something, and we would just pay the $2 go in there,
Right.
Yeah.
and we'd look for bugs, and we would grab the little miscellaneous stuff, like the clip
Knobs
Right.
with the clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
the clips that went on the pedal assembly. Just the little stuff that, okay, just throw it in a bag somewhere and keep it. And we did that all the time. But now, you go in junkyards now, and there's nothing past like a 2,000 in junkyards.
Yeah.
Well, they clean it, they pick it, and then
Yeah.
they sell it online for some of the
We used to have these yards that, around town, and people would buy them up, maybe in the woods full of Volkswagens. You bring them a case of beer and take what you
Oh,
want.
you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, take what you want for it now. And then those yards, what happened to those, is somebody would pull up and give them a good amount of money to take them all.
Yeah.
So that kind
And
of,
then they just keep them, and
they're keeping them or flipping them,
Yeah.
which,
Jesus.
That's nuts.
yeah.
But it's weird to have a whole. Like Volkswagens, I mean, it's always been like kind of a cult following since.
Oh, yeah,
since,
yeah.
Since the '60s, in the '50s, well, the late '50s, I guess you'd say it sort of started. And I would say like probably the 2000 kind of dropped off a little bit
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
people were. Well, there wasn't a lot of them around, and also I think that the last like 10 years or so, they really started. You're starting to see, and I think the explosion about was the buses.
Right.
People started buying these buses, and they're getting completely redone. Next thing you know, they're on Bear Jackson getting $175,000.
And that's, I think
for a bus.
that brings the draw from a totally different type of
Well,
person.
I think
though,
also,
for-
your 80s and 90s people, and then you had a new generation come in, and then now the people that were driving them in the 90s and the 80s are now parents and they can afford to buy them.
Right.
And now I think that's where a lot of this is coming from.
Yeah.
The scene right now, I think, is really, really good.
It's
A
definitely
lot of people are
it's
coming back
different.
in. This for being this year having the corona and everything, like I think things have tripled. Like a lot of people use that time to work on cars, and
That's what
it's-
I'm
there's a
doing.
big push right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I'm hoping, after the season, if a vaccine comes, whatever
Right,
the case
right.
is, I feel like if they can get that somewhat under control, I mean, people
Yes.
are already dealing good with masks and everything like that, but I could see next season being like
huge.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I'd love to bring the slam and slumber
Right,
back. We're
right.
looking for places for that right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, back then when we were doing the slam and slumber, it was hot, and,
Right.
and then it kind of
It
disappeared.
disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, but and then now you've got a whole nother kind of generation doing the van life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you get the Vanagons are
Yeah,
going up in
huge.
prices, which is ridiculous. I was looking at them the other day. I was just thinking, well, I'm gonna go look and see if there's
No,
4-wheel drive.
No,
No way, man.
30
no
grand for
way.
cigarette
It's
board.
50, 60 for the 4-wheel all-wheel drive.
That's the hot thing right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a whole nother movement, and then people were doing the Sprinter vans and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But that's probably one of my best purchases
Right.
is family wise taking
Yes.
going. How many times have we gone out just with our vans?
Just
We were
driving.
having a discussion the other day. It was like this has brought me the most fun, just
Right.
because you can take the whole family and go
Right.
out and then be in the wilderness, get away from stuff. which is cool. It's totally separate from the bugs and the
Right. That's what we got a
splits.
We got a 6-7 split window, and our kids were raised in it. I mean, that was
That's
That's what it should be.
yeah. And we've had newer vehicles and stuff, but that was like if we're going to a show or going anywhere, everybody fits in there. So we have 4 kids, and
Yeah.
everybody fits, and we can go anywhere. Yeah.
We had to take a quick break, but we're back. So let's start off where we had to stop, the car club.
The car club. So yeah, strictly VW's Auto Club. I started that in 1998. At the time, I was working at a Mexican restaurant, Nacho Pete's in Salisbury. This was before the club, probably 96, 97. And we were having monthly Volkswagen meets at the restaurant.
Okay.
And they were attracting 20 cars, which was great for our area. And it was amazing.
They were cool with doing
And
that.
they loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're bringing in business. And
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Everybody likes Mexican food.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so 98, we decided, let's start a car club and see how it goes, and it's been great since then. Yeah.
Yeah. How many years has that been? That's
Uh,
carried the 1, 7, so
22.
2 years.
Square root of,
22 years.
22, yeah. So,
Holy Jesus.
right. So we started right off with going, bug outs and Christmas parades and
Praise.
all the shows. Yeah, Christmas parades were big and
Yeah.
bug
Yeah.
out. I miss the bug out.
bug out. Yeah.
I missed the original bug
The
out.
original bug out.
Yeah.
That's
Original bug out.
Manassas?
Yep. And I tell you what, that was the first show I'd ever been to, and you see it in the magazines and stuff. And when you get there, people are walking out with fenders and bumpers.
I was like, I've got to get there and look at everything that
The
I've
thing
missed
is, when
so
you
far.
parked your car, you're walking to people stuff on trailers.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
just as much outside as you.
yeah, the original bug out was amazing. Yeah, I did miss that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe someday it'll come back. I've
Yeah.
heard the new one is just,
We,
yeah.
Steph and I went to, 2 years ago, went to the one down by Richmond,
Mhm.
Right.
in Oak, not Oak.
It's
but-
wherever it
Yeah,
is,
so,
yeah.
But Les runs that, and I think he has some health issues. But I did see on the bug out page the other day that it said hope to see you in 21. So maybe you're coming back with it
Maybe,
again.
oh man, that'd be great. I'd love to go
But,
out. But back to your
Back to
stuff.
the
so,
club, yeah. I mean, doing real good, and then we had a couple big shows at Dover Volkswagen,
Mhm.
probably 2000. I don't know. That's had been 7, 8, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
And they did real good, and then it seems like things kind of dropped off a little bit, slowed down.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of took a break.
The scene.
Yeah,
I think
whole
just
scene.
everybody that was into it, I think it's just like, okay,
Right.
we're all seeing the same people, we're all seeing
Right.
the same cars, and it's just like,
Things
so-
slowed down. We still had people. It was a smaller group, and we kept doing the cruisings and shows and stuff. But it seemed like I don't know, last year things just got.
Yeah. You have to have any members now? I think you said something on Facebook. the
Yeah,
other day.
it's hard to tell. There's loads on that Facebook page, but we're a club. We
Right,
don't really do dues or any kind
Right,
of
right.
registration. So it's hard to tell. Everybody just wants to hang out and have a good time. That's
And I knew you had the map, you had like all the
Oh, we
dots
were
over
mapping,
there.
it was loads, yeah.
It was like,
so. I mean, that's I guess a good thing this
the
year.
political map, it's like all one
Yeah,
color.
yeah.
The world.
But this year it seems like even with all the pandemic and everything, things have tripled. The people tripled. I mean,
Really?
cars are coming out everywhere.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and they just touch base with you, and
Yeah.
I mean, is there any kind of like screening? So, or do you just like, hey, want to get
If you're a Volkswagen person, you
into it?
want to hang out and talk Volkswagen, you're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we just did this year, the real popular Dubs on the Boards.
Yep.
Had a real good show, had a really good time there, and then we just got back from Bug Jam, and
Yeah,
a bunch of us went down there, and it's
Yeah, I saw the
amazing.
pictures of
It's
that.
great.
That's
Yeah.
that's insane. So you had a lot of your club go down with you.
Yeah.
See, that's great stuff.
We went to what, 4 years ago?
Yeah. For what?
Dubs on the boards.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually where we started really hanging out. Was
Oh,
Dubs on the Board, and then
Nice
Mark
show.
was
Yeah,
doing
good
Mark was
show.
doing that. I think at one point. Then he moved, and his brother
Right.
and him had the stuff going on. But yeah, I'm glad that's still going. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's a great show.
I just like the way it's set up. It's you just walk in the board, walking in every car.
Yeah, and
Organized.
organized stuff to do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's organized.
We actually
It rained when we were there.
Yeah, we got a hotel right at
always.
right at the beginning where they load onto
Oh, that's
the
good.
boardwalk. We kind of
Oh,
thought
you
about
got that
this,
one.
the American hotel. And I'm like, we need to stay there, and it was great because our cars were already lined up.
And you just go back
We
up
just
and do whatever you
kind
want.
of come out and move the cars over. We're already there. Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah.
It rained. I think about half the day when we were down there. I think it rained that day.
Towards
That
the
was a
end it was
weekend.
good.
That was a
but-
rough weekend
Right.
for
just a lot of stuff. Yeah, but I mean,
That's
for
up
the
to
most part,
300 plus cars on the boardwalk. Yeah,
Wow.
it's loaded.
but still, getting that many people to do
Yes.
exactly what you need to do without
That's
somebody
a
screwing
very
something
well
up.
organized club,
Yeah.
our show, because we had like a 10-minute window. They wanted everybody to.
That, yeah, and then they
You
reload.
start,
Yeah.
you do around the block, and then back on the boardwalk, and it was quick. Like,
And the registration, you know, in the morning,
Yeah.
you get your paperwork. I mean,
Yeah.
they've
Very
thought that
well
out.
organized, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what's your plans for the coming years?
Right
Or
now,
the coming,
we're looking for a couple venues right now for doing a show, possibly next October. We're gonna see
Oh,
how
cool.
it goes. Yeah,
Very cool.
but
So,
like I said, things are really, really good right now, and our Facebook page is
yeah, we'll have all your
Back-
links
yeah,
for
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, this is it's more of a controversial topic right now. I'm gonna bring it up. But you being so close to Ocean City, and
Right.
being air cooled
mm-hmm.
with H2O,
Yeah.
what is your
H2O.
you're pretty, and I just like to hear
The
different
original
people's opinion.
compared to the
original,
right now.
the original.
and what caused it the manifest.
So the original
It's a shit show that it is
H2O
now.
was at the horse race.
Right, exactly.
Horse shit. Yeah, at the horse track, at the racetrack.
In
Yeah.
Berlin, Maryland, right?
There-
Great,
yeah.
great day.
Ocean Downs.
Right.
That show was
It
amazing.
was great.
And it was big,
Yeah.
you know. I think the problem is,
Structured well.
yeah, I think it was organized real well for that many cars to come in.
That was the original H2O, and
Original
then it started
H2O.
getting into the.
Then they had to move.
Inland,
They
yeah.
moved over to a church, I think, one year,
Right.
and it was okay. And then they moved again. I don't know if they're having problems with the
It's
city or what or traffic, but and they got moved to Fort Willys.
But that was huge.
But
too.
H2O has always been. They had nothing to do with Ocean City.
Exactly.
It was
And that's
all.
what people never
Yep.
understood.
Yeah, Jay had shows in Berlin and that area.
It was never sanctioned.
Never sanctioned show in Ocean City. And for some reason, that just got the label. And that's the worst thing about our area right now is they never change the name. Like anything bad that happens in Ocean City, it's H2O.
It's H2O, and that's what goes out in the media.
Right.
So people
Yeah.
assume.
Right. So and but the people down there, younger kids or whatever, making trouble and tearing stuff up. That's unacceptable.
No.
But they shouldn't have pinned it to that show. That wasn't right for that.
I mean,
promoter.
even
It's
after
easy to
they
do
left,
that, though. That's the problem.
even after they left, it's still.
That show's been going for 2 years.
Right.
It's in Atlantic City now.
But you still
But that's still-
hear
yeah.
issues.
H2O. It's
Yeah.
not H2O.
Right.
It's
And people don't understand. I mean, H2O, that's a water cooled Volkswagen.
Right.
And the people are going, they have no clue. Because I asked somebody, like, what's that? What's H2O mean? And he's like, oh, headed to Ocean City. I'm like,
Oh my God.
there's a problem
Is that-
right there.
Head, that's what it stands for. Head to Ocean City.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh boy, yeah.
Well,
It's sad because I mean, I went a couple years with my father, and it was like you guys said, it was a well
Right.
organized.
Yeah.
that's
it was
when
a
I
good
went.
show.
Was when it was.
And you go to Ocean City and you just cruise around and everything, never had any problem. The last couple of years, Steph's like, you know,
No,
I ain't getting, I'm not getting my car.
Well, that's
back.
carried over to hot rod. I mean, it's
Everything.
become just
Right.
what it is now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it's what's
Right.
killing it.
And I understand where they're coming from. There's lots of things tore up that shouldn't have.
And I agree
You
with
can't
you.
blame them for
How it is right now
Right.
wasn't how it was when
No.
we enjoyed it,
No.
and that's what I.
Well, you're getting
wish-
away. I think you're getting away from car enthusiasts and just getting a lot of people there just want to go and
Right.
tear
I mean, I
stuff.
don't know. I
Yeah,
wonder
that's
So the
exactly
people were
what it
car
is.
enthusiasts. They wouldn't be down there tearing the cars up.
No,
I wonder what the
burn
percentage
out at every
actually
stoplight.
people-
Yeah.
Like
Diesel
this
trucks.
past summer, there's videos all over YouTube and Facebook and everything. I wonder how many of these people, this crowds of people you saw, how many of them actually had cars there,
Right.
or compared to people that actually car people that are
Right.
there, just cruising around and having a good time, and then you got people that are standing on the sidewalks just to see the
Hooting,
shit show.
hollering, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to see the shit
Yeah.
show.
And then the stuff you
I
see
mean,
getting tore up, they weren't even Volkswagens down there that
Yeah.
were doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, you know, like I live 25 minutes from the beach and I haven't been in probably 3 years. I'm not even going in town that weekend.
It ain't worth getting your car.
No, and it
jacked
puts
up
a strain on everybody because, you know, right now I'm trying to get a venue that's close to Berlin area and I was talking about it last night and they're like, no, we're not coming to Ocean City. And I'm getting towed. I'm like, oh, you know, that's
Right.
See, but that's what's unfortunate because your show would be killer there.
Right.
I mean, that's where it needs to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
So maybe you could turn it around. It's all on
Yeah,
your shoulders.
Yeah.
No stress, no pressure.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
fix it.
But is it fixable, or is this permanent?
I really think they need to take up a couple years, unfortunately, and let it cool down and
Yeah.
revisit.
Or change. Could you change the name or structure of it?
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, like say like like you guys would do a showdown. There's somewhere within
Right.
a 20-mile radius of
Right.
Ocean City. It's still going to get
That's
that label.
That label.
Oh,
yeah.
a bunch of
It's hard.
Volkswagens.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's Volkswagens that are 80 horsepower, 100 horsepower, that can't do 60, 65 mile an hour,
Right.
but
That's beside the
but
point.
exactly, that's the thing. It's not. You're not going to get past that.
Yeah.
That stigmatism of the whole.
Right.
So are you mentioned that you had a couple of venues. Are you looking in that area?
All
or are
right,
you gonna
yeah,
try
yeah.
to?
I'm looking at one right now in Pittsville, which Pittsville's it's probably 20
Pittsville.
minutes.
Okay.
I should say. It's on 50, but there's a real nice venue there. And then our club members are so spread out now. I'm looking at back in the Dover area because I think that's a good area.
That was always a hot spot.
It's a hot
to go.
spot because Jersey and PA,
Right.
everybody's close. So,
Yeah.
and I know Volts Bash was there, and that's an excellent show, and always
Yeah.
pulled a lot of people.
I've never been to that show.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm going to
And
be
at the Air Museum.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So
Never been to that show.
we were actually talking about that this morning. Like we should talk to the Air Museum again and see if they host again.
That, I mean, I talked with him when he was, family stuff. Everybody's got family
Yeah.
things going on,
Yeah.
and I think he was at the edge of being burned out for a while.
Right.
But they have so much help
Yeah.
too, and
Yeah.
that show was organized like
Absolutely, that was a
ducks
great
on the
venue,
board.
great show.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I freaked out when the first time I went there. I was like, "Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Go look in the airplanes
You
and have a
cruise
show?"
around, and the day before they cruise
I couldn't-
around the NASCAR track.
Yeah. I mean that's incredible. So
That's a good area we're looking at too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
that would be great to
Right.
have something around there.
And I guess the draw. Like I looked at that map. You got guys in Delaware, you got guys in Eastern Shore, you got guys in Virginia, you got
Yeah.
Northern Jersey and everything. So that would be kind of like a central.
Centralized, that everybody's
Yeah.
familiar with too,
Right.
that have been there in the
Right.
past.
That's a big thing to look at too. Is distance. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. I don't think people are afraid to travel now. But I mean, it's 2 hours. That's nothing.
It
It
is.
We've done longer. I mean,
Trailer stuff, if you can't.
It's even better when you got a group of people that want to go together. That's a big
See,
thing.
that's huge
That's
too,
huge,
is to
yeah.
have the convoy
convoy,
roll into the,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, man, I hope nobody breaks down because we all gotta stop.
Everybody's
But you do it.
But everybody will. Yeah.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, this year's been real good for that. We've done a bunch of shows and everybody's convoy, different hot rod shows that they've
Yeah.
had. And we'll get 10, 15 Volkswagens together.
You all make it there in
All
one
make
spot.
it there in one
Yes.
spot. And it's the best feeling when you get
A
up to
free
the
for all
show.
when you're leaving. You're like, you going down, I'm going down.
Going into like these hot rod shows, you
Yeah.
show up with 10 or 15 Volkswagens.
Hell yeah.
And it's like that, all the attention's over here.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
stops looking at it.
Yeah.
They're like, here's the real show.
Yeah.
It's coming
I was
down.
thinking because at one point in time, one of the guys that has that Camaro or that Mustang or that GTO and everything,
Everybody's got a
I'll get you.
Volkswagen
You
story.
walk up, man. When I was 15,
Yeah.
my father had a Volkswagen. You know, it's
My grandma ran me over with hers. It's like,
Well, my favorite thing is we'll get there and somebody say, "Hey, anybody looking for some parts or a car? We got one in our backyard." And like, absolutely. Like, yeah.
hell yes.
Yes.
I need one more. Of course I need one more. What's your favorite one right now that you got?
Right now, I got a '65 Beetle. It's got air in the front and it's got the front safari windows, kind of patinaed. That's,
Yeah. You like that one?
Patina's my thing. I love a patina. Yeah.
It's a natural.
Yeah.
Natural.
Which
That's okay,
window
well.
you got?
What's that?
Which Safari window?
It's a loose nut.
Loose nut.
Front windshield. Yeah.
How to work.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I got the
Here's something. Oh, that's good. Thanks, John.
I got the Randar side windows extended.
Are the extended ones?
Yeah. So much. Oh, so great.
That's
So
awesome.
now I'm looking to do the back window on that, and I think it'll be good.
The whole back
I
window?
like to do the back window.
Oh, really?
So it's just like pass through.
Pass
So
through, yeah.
bees will just straight past it.
That's it.
You know, moths
Yeah.
or whatever. And I don't know. I'm scared. I'd just like something smack me in my face as I'm going down.
I have not. I don't drive and do it.
Full speed.
It always makes me
cruising around.
nervous.
Oh yeah.
Because I've drove with it, and I'm sure it'll be fine, but you watch it kind of
I see,
shake,
that's
and all
what
I
I
can think
mean,
is
like
that thing crack, and I'm like, oh. So
Yeah, that's like that one kid, the guy down in Brazil that makes that kit.
Right.
Seen the kid?
There's no frame.
It doesn't have a frame in it.
That's ridiculous. That's show.
I mean,
quality.
and I would do that on the back glass, but I probably have no way on the front glass because the back glass probably doesn't have a lot.
I don't know. I'm saying, like, couldn't imagine hitting one bump and that just.
Well, that's the
just
problem. It
shattered.
would just shatter, and then it would
Yeah.
be the person behind you's problem, or if it's in the front,
Right.
your problem.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, Last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, you're a huge family of skateboards
Skateboard, yeah.
and bikes and everything, but
Yeah.
skates your main.
The whole family is into skateboarders and are skateboarding.
That's
And it all started, I grew up, I was born in 79, so the 80s skateboarding,
that's
80s
what
toys, 80s
yep.
stuff is,
He-Man, G.I. Joe
that's the
skateboards.
greatest generation ever, right? Like,
Mask. I could go
but,
on.
and honestly, I mean, that, as far as artwork, that's how I got into art. I think a big amount of it
From
was
the decks.
Thrasher magazine.
Oh yeah.
And they always had their artwork in there.
Actually, yeah.
And,
I can see that.
I remember going through school, like, trying to doodle the pictures out of the magazines, and they had the
Speedball and
they
all
had the CCS little magazines, and like in middle school, I remember like that was like that's your Bible. You walk around with all the skateboard and stuff in it.
That's awesome.
What was your first skateboard?
My first skateboard was a Vision Gator
Oh,
skateboard.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Which one? That was mine too.
Yeah,
Mine was
yeah.
orange and black, and the top had blue grip tape.
Mine was blue, and I think it had almost like a rainbow swirl on it. And I remember I had
Kevin Staub.
Stop.
Yeah.
I got mine from
Goldwing
Sunshine
trucks.
House.
Goldwing trucks.
Yeah, mine was
These weigh
vintage.
that's 6 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
and rat bone wheels. I remember.
Yeah.
yeah. I had that one, then I had a Lance Mountain right after that. So yeah.
I always wanted a Lance Mountain. I
Right.
never got that. I stayed away from Palo Peralta for some reason. I didn't.
Right.
I had just all different.
Right.
H Street.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
old school stuff. But Vision and then Thybod, that was my favorite. I heard you guys talking when I was upstairs about your favorite decks or whatever. It was
Right.
Ukulele.
Yeah, we met him actually, because I collect all 80s, I love 80s skateboards, we have hundreds of them in our house. But he actually came to Ocean City one time for an event,
Yeah.
and I remember I just got that board, it was a complete, hadn't rode it, tested it or anything, and we went up to the Keiko surf shop, and I walked up with it, and he just like, hey, can I see that? And he grabbed it and took off on it, and I'm like, oh,
You're like, oh shit, that was
yeah, so, and he signed it and everything, so that's a cool board. One of
wow.
my favorites in the collection.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, we love collecting 80s skateboards. I love it's the artwork. I think it's
Yeah.
the biggest part of it, you know. And
It definitely had some unique.
yeah,
I mean, just some of them are like, how did they come up with that?
Yeah, but like Lucero, and I mean,
Yeah.
they had all different kinds of. Just the graphics were insane.
graphics
That was
were
the
insane.
biggest thing. You know, you have one, then you're waiting for the next one
Right.
to come out. You're just like, oh my god, it's like
Right.
a continuation.
that's why I got a lot of them hanging in my house. Or it's big pieces of artwork. You know?
Did you get that link that I sent you about printing your own interior bearing for
Yes.
making your own
Yeah, I
wheels?
saw that,
Did
yeah.
you look at that? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
that's
that
cool.
guy is
Yeah.
insane with this stuff.
Making
I
your
want
own
to do
wheels
that.
as a 3D mold?
Yep, because
yeah,
I'm
do your
building
thing.
a model or whatever it's called, the press
Right.
for my longboard,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be hand building one. And
Right.
I came across that. I was like, man, I could pour my own wheels too. How cool
That would be cool. That would
Yes.
be neat. Yeah.
So, but wheels, you got to design some
Yes.
skate wheels.
Yeah, Speed Lab wheels, which is a
That's insane.
Speed Lab. They're a Maryland company. Yeah. And,
How did you fall into that? I mean,
you know,
Volkswagen related, of course. They got
well,
the
they-
Volkswagen. Oh,
yeah,
to put up a picture.
we skate a lot, and
Yeah.
I met up a few times, and there's another artist, and they're real good about having an artist series, which is cool. So you don't have to be a pro skateboarder to have
That's
a
yeah.
wheel, right? So
Yeah.
they'd ask me if I'd be interested in drawing a graphic for them, and you know, what kind of graphic you want? It's whatever you want.
Oh, God, let me think.
well.
I'm gonna draw a Volvo.
Yeah,
Volvo.
yeah. So this wheel's got to have my car.
That's awesome.
So
That's so
now
cool.
they came out and they did real well. And, unfortunately, they're all sold out now.
I know. I
Really?
wanted to get a set.
No,
I would never skate them though. I'd just be
yeah. Now they're collector's items
like,
though.
oh, yeah, that's so cool.
Are they going to reissue them, or is it just
No,
a one
and they're
thing?
real good. It's a great company, and they'll do an artist for a series, and then they're sold out to go to another artist.
So they don't saturate the market with
No,
something. It's an
right.
actual. It's a collector's item. It's a
It's
real
a collector's
collector's
item.
item.
People skate. I skate behind. Yeah.
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 I could.
Well, I got like six.
Yeah,
I got.
Yeah.
I got a few sets of them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now, when you were skating street, because when I skated for a long time, I blew my knee out doing a video, and ever since then I just
Right.
skate kind of just, you know, every once in a while. But
Right.
it's not like what I used to do.
No, you know, growing up, the 90s, 80s, 90s, it's all street skating.
Yeah.
We didn't have any parks.
Mhm.
Nobody wanted you in their parking lot. You know, in our area, we had Ocean City Skate Park, which was too far for me, you know, to
Yeah.
get to. But it was all
Oh,
street
I
skating.
almost broke my hip in the Ocean
Yeah,
City. Oh,
yeah.
God.
We used to,
that-
I mean, it was like, we had no skate parks. Well, they had Lutherville for a couple of years.
Right.
They had a basketball court that they put, you know, they put like a quarter pipe on, a couple of A-frames and, you know, things like that. And that lasted a couple of years. But besides that, I mean, around the city, it was curbs.
Yeah, curbs and parking lots. Yeah.
Curbs and parking lots.
Yeah.
And then you had Lansdowne Bowl.
And yeah,
Which
Still there.
we were talking about. that.
Lansdowne that's one of my favorite places to go skating.
What about now compared to, because
So-
I skated it when it was really Lansdowne,
Right.
and now it's a totally different breed.
Right, there's not cars
Yeah.
on fire in the
Let's-
background.
Actually,
Chunky landing in the corner.
let's take
Some
a,
bumbling.
let's take a break for a second, and then we'll come back and we'll
Alright.
wrap up everything. If
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Everybody look at his nipples. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Had
Yeah.
to fix the memory card. So, go ahead.
I think we left off, we were talking about how skateboarding was then,
And
we were talking about
Lansdowne.
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 So yeah, and now I think skateboard. Now we have old guy sessions at the local skate park. Right? That's how things are now.
Yeah.
But we actually have skate parks like Salisbury is still a
You've
big.
been a big part of that, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, Salisbury that's the first big skate park they've had in forever.
Mhm.
And it's a good size and. Yeah.
Sorry. I was- Yeah, but yeah. So
So it's a big difference, going from running from the police and trying to skate where you can to
for a
now
couple
it's,
minutes until
now
you
it's
get out.
accepted,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like across the United States that's a big thing now. I mean,
But that's a huge gathering where you're at
Yeah.
with the parks and everything. They
Right.
just opened out. That's incredible looking.
and now it's
Yeah.
us the old guy sessions on the weekends. We get there at 8 in the morning and skate until the young
Till
kids
they
come
wake up.
chase us off.
Chase you
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
I mean, it's a good thing because I remember like growing up with you, we didn't have skate parks. The Lansdowne was a hassle to get there and
Right.
everything, but you'd be skating streets and parking lots, and next thing you know, you fall and your board's going down the street, and you're seeing the car, and you're like,
you're like, oh, there it comes.
Oh, yeah.
there it
And
comes.
and it's always one of the
Sometimes.
ones, is it going to hit between trucks or is it just going to hit the tail and flip
Right,
it up?
right.
You got
And then
Right.
that
you got
50-50
worse
shot.
trouble. Yeah, yeah.
And then when we would go down in the harbor and skate,
See, I never did that. I
my
was,
Rick, we go down around the inner harbor and skate. And he did something one time on a bench. I think he went through a rail slide on a bench and he just went like that and the
Took
car
off.
went right in the harbor.
Yeah, that's that, huh?
man.
Brand new deck.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
kind was it? Be cool
I-
to go try
I
to fish it
think
out.
It's, it's probably
He
much of
was
it.
he was a big
Yeah,
guy.
sure.
I think I want to say Caballero. No. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah,
Yeah,
The soy, the hammerhead.
No, it was horrible looking.
God, dude, that was the coolest
I
thing.
did not like that deck, man. I did not like that.
I liked it just because it was
Odd
different
shape.
than
I like
everything
odd
else.
shape.
Yeah, it was a weird,
Yeah.
like that was an odd shaped deck, and what was the stop deck was kind of odd shaped because it was kind of, it was like
Ray Barbie was
it had a
involved.
really, like the front really bubbled out on it.
Yeah.
It's a hammerhead
Yeah.
kind of thing.
There's different ones like that, yeah. But yeah, like I said, the skateboard scene's big now, and skateboarding collecting is huge, and
I've still got my first Gator, my Vision.
Good, yeah.
My dad, because back in the time when it wasn't a collector's item, he repainted it for me because
Right.
I
touch it up.
abused it
Yeah.
and everything, and it was a different kind of silk screening and stuff back
Right.
then, so it would like kind of crackle and
Yeah.
fall off even if I wasn't doing slides or anything like
So,
that.
but yeah, now being older, we skate on weekends and
Yeah.
just cruise around, skate bowls, little stuff, When I first got back into it, the kids got back in, or wanted to start skating. And I'm like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
I'll get back into it,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, it was the first week I broke my ankle.
See, I
'Cause
can't.
I went in full, and concrete's a lot faster than pavement, and
Yes,
I went in
then
real quick.
and then when you've got a profession, you've got a family and everything.
Yeah, you gotta think about it.
Priorities change a little bit. You're like, I will stand on this and coast down the road, but I'm not going to try to.
Yeah. I'm not doing
Double
anything huge
kickflip,
anymore.
handrail
It's just
or
cruising
anything, yeah.
around and
Carving.
and carving. That's it. Yeah,
That's cool.
And we Salisbury, Ocean City, and there's so many parks now. Like Rehoboth's got one, and then we come down to Lansdowne and Charm City and
Charm City's nice.
Charm City. I love Charm City in
Yeah.
winter time because if it's raining, we're like, let's go Charm City.
Yeah.
It's a nice indoor park.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while though.
Yeah,
Have they changed anything?
they changed it
Okay.
around, and there always seems to be constructing something new in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's an enjoyable thing, we surround ourselves with stuff with, makes us happy. And skateboarding, Volkswagens, toys. I mean, we got a little bit of
This day
everything.
and age though,
Yeah.
that's an important
Yeah.
thing. It
Yeah.
really is. Did you ever skate the Metro Ditch over in Gaithersburg?
No, I've heard about it. No, I
Okay,
never skated it, yeah.
that was one of my main. Yeah, it was by Shady Grove, and it was
Right.
like a huge. It was stupid little ditch, but so many people were
Right.
skating that thing like crazy.
It was just like
It was a
concrete.
concrete.
Flat, two band.
Yeah, two sides, and
Yeah.
there was no transition. It was like, but
Oh.
you would ride it, and you could.
That's-
They had the parking blocks and everything. That was a big thing. And that was
Unfortunately, you know, in our the Eastern Shore, we're trying to get rid of water, and there's not any concrete drainage ditches. Everything just saturates in the ground, and
yeah,
for us, it was all homemade
Yeah.
launch ramps,
ramps
Yeah.
and platforms.
sketchy
and
stuff like plywood and some cinder blocks, and
Yeah,
We had a playground out just from my parents' house, 55 school, and one year there was a construction site about 3 blocks away, and we went there one night, a bunch of us. And the cool thing about skateboards make great dollies.
Right.
For plywood, you can take 5 or 6 pieces of plywood,
Right.
put it on, board front, board back, and just roll it and go down the street. We went down one night and we took all this lumber they had in the dumpster, and we built
Yeah.
I'm glad you said
for like
dumpster
2
instead of
weeks.
construction
Yeah.
site.
Well, the dumpster was on the construction.
Oh,
No, I think there's some type of rule where it's over a certain amount of years.
yeah, we're good.
Anyway,
Fine.
but we built all like A-frame ramps and
yeah,
all this and everything, and it was there for like a week. It was the summertime. Next thing you know, here comes all these city dump trucks.
okay, got it all.
Took
Everything?
all of it. Everything.
It
Took
was planned.
Yeah, we did the same thing. You know,
Nope, they didn't have it.
in the 80s, we just bought my parents had got a house in the development, and they're the first house there, and that was the big thing, man, to get through the dumpsters.
Did all the kids come to your house to skate?
It was obvious where it was coming from.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to the dumpsters and getting 2x4s and plywood,
That's right.
and
That's right.
you come by next day, there's a new ramp in there. But,
That's right.
yeah,
It was because you had nothing there. You had the.
Well, it was
Yeah.
different. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you had to build what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and I remember the fun part of it for me was because I started ramp and then I went to street, but
right.
there was a ramp over. I don't even remember where it is. It's still in Gaithersburg. It was like out in the woods, and you had to go through this neighborhood and follow this little
Get
path.
to
It was
it.
like Search for Animal Chin. It almost
Yeah,
felt that
yeah.
way, you know. And then White Flint ramp was in Rockville, and that's where I snapped my wrist in half doing the transfer.
Right.
And you know, I skated the whole day. My dad drove me up there because I couldn't drive yet, you know, and was skating, tearing it up. And then the next morning I woke up and it was like a bowling ball size. Yes, it was like you're going to the doctor. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit that I just
Yeah.
I loved. And you know, hearing about a new place to go skate, and you go find it
Right.
and
Right.
tear it up, and then run out of there before the cops
That's
were
it.
called.
Yeah.
That's what started me.
If they would find it, if like somebody would find a spot, it would last for like a month.
Yeah.
And then security.
Word
guards
spread,
would-
and then
That's how it works.
security.
Yeah, same, the same thing.
Done. And then you look for another one.
We find a parking lot, like ours was it started off super giant. We had a nice parking lot. We had these painted
Yeah.
curbs.
Okay.
And, yeah, and the ramps and stuff. And it wasn't long after that they bolted plates to the curb.
What
and
is
no
it called?
skateboarding
Some
sign.
skate stops or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
hate
then we
that
got pushed off into the university, and that deal was everybody skated in the university. And when the police security came on the golf carts, we all split up, and there was a skate shop right down in I think it's called Our World. And that was like our meeting spot. We all got away. We all met back up there again to.
The head count, you're like, yeah, somebody got John.
Oh,
I got it.
Yeah.
But when in the city, I remember they started going from the concrete parking blocks to like the composite ones,
Right.
and that
Oh,
was
so is that
Yeah.
the is that,
That was
the
a real-
hard rubber,
because-
hard plastic?
roll slabs would do okay
No,
because
Wasn't the same
you
as
get
the
wax on
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But if you try to do a grind on those things,
No.
that dug in. It's like
Yeah.
Shark was sticking
it
through.
just dug in, and that was it.
That's one of our favorite things nowadays is the curbs. I got a parking curb stop in our driveway. That,
Nice. That you got from a dumpster.
Dumpster.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, last thing I wanted to talk to you about is your channel. You've got a channel you're working on.
So through our car clubs, BBWs, we're on YouTube, and we just started doing interviews with people, and it's about the same thing, asking about their history and how they got started, and,
Yeah.
and the cars that got there down, and it's getting a really good response.
Very cool. We'll
I'm
have
also
a link
shooting.
for that,
I'm shooting any kind of shows I go to and putting them on there, and
And you said the last one you went to?
yeah, it was Bug Jam and the Bully Brigade show in Florida.
Oh, man, it's so cool. I wish I
Yeah,
could
they're
go
both on
to that.
YouTube now, and they're doing real well. Yeah.
We'll pop the links up also.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's funny because remember when I called you? we went through the phone one day, and I said, "Oh, what's Jason doing?"
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And then, no, what was he doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit, he's doing interviews with me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, let's see if we
Let
can
me
get
call
one.
him. I said, no, I was like, dude, I don't want to step on a man's toes.
No,
you know what?
You know
and
how
I
I
called
felt-
you and talked to you. I said, look, man, I don't want to step on your toes.
No, no.
That's what we called you. I was like, I don't want
No,
to.
there's a over in California that I saw some people doing it. Same thing, interviewing people. I thought it was really cool. You know, just real quick, short interviews. I'm like, that'd be neat to do here too.
Yeah. But that's the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Get the word
Yeah,
out,
man.
bring
Get the word
people
out.
in for all
Yeah,
kinds of
hear about
stuff.
stories and stuff.
So
Yeah,
Volkswagens, but we also share so much else in common, like art,
Yeah.
cars, skating,
Yeah.
bikes, everything. So
Yeah.
it's just I can't thank you guys enough for coming
No,
down
I
and family.
appreciate you having me. Yeah.
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 So and we'll put everything down, the links and anything else we can think of
Yeah.
that will point them in your direction.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on,
Yeah.
brother.
I'm hoping in the spring when everything's
Yeah.
everybody get together.
That's
and
it, man.
Get everybody and they start doing shows together. And
Yeah.
everything.
That's the best part of the whole Volkswagen
Exactly.
scene is everybody, all the clubs getting together and having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you definitely try to do something once we're
Yes.
getting back up
Yeah.
and together. And
Yeah.
then we'll just get, because we were talking about getting a couple clubs together to
Yeah.
meet in one central spot and just
One central spot.
hang out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome
That'd be fun.
too.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
And cut.